Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to Grow Your Gifts. Today, I'm going to talk about the power of breath work. So that's the power of breath work and how it encourages self-regulation. So the overall key to think about is, well, and I can't really put it into words with breath work because I've worked with it for so long now in such an in-depth way that the only thing I could say about it is I think breath work saved my life. So it's experiential for me, and I encourage you to experiment with it as well and see if it does anything for you, how it goes. Experiment, be your own scientist and have fun with it. Yeah, so the main thing with breath work and breathing when it comes to children and how it can encourage self-regulation. So the example I wanted to share, which is, it was a total game changer for me. Seeing is believing, or experiencing it is believing, and it was just one of those scenarios you can't plan. It just happened. It just happened. So, as an infant teacher, we had 10 infants. 9 of them were new. Usually it's about half and half, so you have half crying for a while and looking at the other, 5 that are chill and being like, what are you freaking out about? This is really nice. We got a nice setup here. And their calmness kind of, helps the crying ones to calm down, and it's just much smoother and it's much simpler and much easier. But with 9 crying infants, and this is not regular crying, this is like as if they're being attacked and what did you do with my mommy and bring her back right now kind of cry. And there's 3 of us teachers, so we're doing our best. We have mealtime and diapering and all these other things to do, but mainly we're trying to help them acclimate to this new environment. But it's and I'm pretty good with sound. I'm not that sensitive as some of my coworkers, and I was okay. I didn't need to step out of the room or anything and be sub by another teacher, because that's how intense it was. Some of my coworkers did need to do that, understandably. It was intense. So our game plan was, let's separate as much as we can. So we have a group going to the playground, we have a group staying in the classroom, we have a group playing in the piazza, I'm not sure how to say it, but it's an indoor open area. And so we split up into 3 groups, and I've got my group of, I don't know, 3 infants or so, and they are, losing it, 2 of them anyway. And we're in the hallway, we're in the cubby area, and I just instinctively, I'm like, okay, you know what, I can't take it anymore. So I'm just gonna do exaggerated deep breathing and see what happens. So we're gonna get ready for outdoor, but before we transition to outdoor, I kind of want it to be a smooth transition. So we're just sitting there, and I'm just I say, okay, come on, let's breathe together. Do it with me. Ready? Let's go. In and out. And I blow on their face. I do all these things. You can see how exaggerated, how big, how loud I can make it. It worked like a charm. So much so I was doing it all over the center, and I did not care how I looked. Comfortable with your crazy, that's me. And of course my coworkers like, what is wrong with this lady at first? But then when they see that, oh my gosh, the children are responding, they're like, this is working. So if it works, it works, right? And yeah, that's why I say exaggerated deep breathing is a total game changer. I mean, it can work with any age group really, but especially the young ones, they they get into it. At least it kind of stops their mind or whatever is going on, their storm of emotions, and they kind of say, "Oh, what's this person doing? I don't even know her name, and what's happening here?" It kind of helps them focus in. It's very, very interesting. So I encourage you to give that one a try. Another way there's the power of breath work is tuning in. It allows present moment awareness and really helps the child with tuning in. And I have a great story about this one. It was very intense, what we call big emotions, but I don't like saying that. It's all just energy in motion. So everything's happening for a reason from my perspective. And let's take you to the scene. So I'm in the home. I'm working with 3 children, and the eldest child, around 7, is experiencing rage emotions. And I'm not talking about anger. This is full on rage. And I knew, he was having these challenges. It wasn't anything surprising for me. The parent was overwhelmed in the moment. I asked her to just, step out. She can view on her phone. She has cameras and everything. So that's totally cool. And she was like, "Okay, thank you. You're my rock." So I said, "Yeah, no problem. I got this. You'll be okay. Just please hang out in the bedroom, and I'll let you know how it goes." And so the eldest child is there raging out, and the middle child is there, about 5 years old, and the little toddler, I forgot where she was, but it was just me and the 2 kids. And the eldest one, I literally sat down, did the exaggerated deep breathing again, really big in, really big out. I looked at the middle child, the 5-year-old, and said, "You're doing great, you're doing a good job." He's just watching, like, why is my elder sibling screaming, jumping all over the place, things like that. And sometimes, I would guide the child to say, okay, like the eldest one, it's okay to punch the sofa. Go ahead, let it out, punch the sofa. But then I went right back into exaggerated deep breathing. Just kept doing that, and I told the 5-year-old, "You're doing good job." Just, he's witnessing, he's being calm, and he's doing good. And the poor little guy, 7-year-old, he's going through this rage. I'm doing the deep breathing. He tried to go for the toddler's backpack. You cannot damage anyone's. No. So he went back to punching the sofa. He got the message. Didn't like it, but he got the message. I went back to deep breathing. And this went on for about 10, 20, I would say 20 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. It was a very long process, but you got to do what you got to do and see where it takes you, right? And this was all intuitive. I just felt called to do it in the moment. And so the 7-year-old who was raging out went downstairs to the basement. I calmly, I didn't run downstairs and follow him. I very calmly walked downstairs, and he saw me appear. I'm still doing the deep breathing, and it was like a dam burst, and this is exactly what I wanted. It was, he just started crying, and he said, "Nobody loves me, everybody hates me, my mom hates me, I wish I was never born." That was a huge breakthrough I felt for him in that moment. My heart broke wide open, just being like, wow, that's like, takes courage to say those words, especially as a 7-year-old. So yeah, and then I asked him, "Do you want a hug?" He said, "No." I said, "Okay, do you want a hug from your mommy?" He said, "Okay." And she was right there. She came down at that moment, and I said, "Yeah, he wants a hug from you." And I later explained to his mom, like, what a great thing that was for him, how powerful that was for him. And that was literally all from just exaggerated deep breathing. I couldn't believe it. I was, like, wow, that was a miracle, basically. I didn't know what was going to happen. And, it's just kind of proven time and time again that these things are possible with just such a simple technique helping us to, remember to deep breathe. And the last piece I want to share about the power of breath work is more from my personal life and as an adult, but it just goes in line with everything that I am. I feel like a salesperson for breath work or something. Anyway, so I've had experience with Wim Hof breathing technique for cold, like feeling cold, and cold water, and holotropic breath work. It's different names. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but it goes by different names as well. Holotropic breath work, something like that. With holotropic breath work, I would definitely do it with a coach or a guided video. It's very powerful, and I've heard that people have experienced almost like low dose of DMT type of something naturally occurring from the body. But yeah, I don't know too much about it. I just think that's pretty wild. Like, just from breathing with a coach, you can experience something profound and deep and meaningful, and possibly very healing as well. And with Wim Hof breathing technique, I was very anemic for a long time, and especially in the winter, I was always cold. It was so frustrating, and just I couldn't even stop talking about it. I'm cold, I'm so cold, oh my god, I'm so cold, I'm freezing. I'd just be shivering. No matter what I did, even with supplements and everything, I was just always shivering. So I had enough. And that's when I found, the Wim Hof breathing technique. It's very similar to, Vedic science and things like that. I think, he got a lot of it from, ancient cultures as well. So it's always been around, I think, from my research. But he really helped summarize it and distill it and make it popular. So yay, go Wim Hof. And that was a total game changer for me. Like, after consistent practice of doing Wim Hof breathing, I'm out there, taking the snow off my car, smiling. I have my gloves and scarf and hat, but other than that, I'm doing a quick workout and doing my Wim Hof breathing, and everybody else is like, oh no, it's -20. I'm like, I'm all right. And I actually felt the warmth within me, and it was so much easier, like, in so many situations. I don't, the cold is my warm dear friend. So it is a mental remapping as well. There's a whole technique involved with Wim Hof. But I think it's amazing that just from breathing, I even go in the lake sometimes to go swimming when it's turning from spring to summer, or when it's going from summer to fall. And most people are like, how are you doing that? It's too cold. I'm not Polar Bear Club, but yeah, I just do 5-10 minutes of Wim Hof breathing, get my blood pumping a little bit, and do that mental work as well and visualization, and slowly get in, and I can feel the water's warm after a while once I get used to it. So everywhere in New Brunswick, British Columbia, I've swam a lot of places, and all the people around me are like, how did you do that? So I tell them about Wim Hof. So this is, really the power of breath work. I think I've oversold it now. And yeah, that's all I'm going to share for that today. I'm signing out, wishing you well, and hoping that you get some benefit from this video. Thank you.